Hello, I'd like to welcome you to Gorilla with a Cause if you've never been here before. And if you have clicked on this video because you see that the topic is anti-bullying in nature, then I have a message for you. And that message is this. I was a victim of bullying as a young boy. And it had a huge impact on me, and it certainly had a major impact on the course that my life would take. There's no doubt that I would have been a different person. I would have grown up as a man. I would have become a different man if it weren't for the bullying I experienced as a child. And while I feel as if that bullying is so far past, and I'm so far away from that, and almost you're tempted to say that it had no effect on you now. You can barely even remember it. But truth to tell, if I really think about it, I can remember it. And I have to say it had an enormous impact. The reason being is if it hadn't been for that bullying, I would have gone off on an entirely different course. That bullying was a fork in the road for me. It actually made me abandon, maybe, a great deal of who I was at that early age. That foundation and groundwork that had been laid that was going to ultimately deliver me into a human being that I would fully mature into as I grew older, that was subverted and completely changed and colored by this bullying experience, because I didn't like being bullied, as most people I'm sure don't. And so I set about to do everything I could to become something completely different than that which was being victimized at the time. And I think that the sad part in that is it's kind of like throwing the baby out with the bathwater. Yeah, my solution worked for me as far as that I wasn't bullied anymore. I wasn't afraid anymore. I no longer lacked self-confidence or self-esteem. But I think as I look back from here, and this is something that only occurs to me as I've gotten older and wiser, I think as I look back from here, I can honestly say that a lot of the best parts of that kid, that child that was bullied, that scared, self-conscious, awkward, introverted, shy, fearing child, a lot of that child was good stuff. That child had a lot of really good qualities: kindness and an abundance of compassion and a love of the world and openness and innocence, timidness, not jaded, full of hope. And I don't know. I think that a lot of that meekness, I think a lot of those qualities were better qualities than I took on. And so one of my goals today as a grown man at 53 years old is I'm trying to go backwards now. I'm trying to make myself more available to the world around me and open my eyes a little wider and take on the necessary vulnerability. I have to allow myself to be vulnerable so that I can be open and receptive of some really good interaction that I'm sure that I have missed out on. And not intentionally. I never became a bully, ever. I never became a bad guy. I've always loved, good, decent, people. Happy, mellow, pacifist type of people. That's, at heart, that's who I was. And I really think that I want to get back to that. I want to get back to that. And there's no reason for me not to. There's no reason for me to hesitate. There's no reason for me to fear going back to that. There's no reason for me to fear being vulnerable, because I won't be bullied again. I'm no victim, and I'm not about to become one. And I can always default to this. I can always be what I have been for decades, right? And I'm not going to say I was never a bad guy, but I took a lot of bad turns, a lot of wrong turns. I did a lot of questionable things, and made a lot of bad decisions. And I think that my decision from the beginning on how to deal with the bullying I experienced was not in a step towards enlightenment. It was not a step towards really enriching my life. It wasn't really a step up. It wasn't, it didn't elevate me. Do you know what I mean? It was kind of a step to the side or a way around it. I kind of learned to meet force with force. And it worked for me. It worked big time. It worked too well. But in exchange for that, I think I surrendered a lot of the best parts of me to some degree. Now, of course, you're not going to get rid of it all, and you're not going to, I am a compassionate being. I am a loving human being. I am these things, but not to the degree that I was. Lately, in the past year, I'm really focusing on trying to get back. I think that kid that was bullied, that little kid, that sickly, scrawny, fearing, timid, introverted kid was a better person than I sit here before you today as. And so I need to regain some of that. And I think many of us do. I think many of us are coming from the place I'm at now and looking back, and maybe we have missed some things that we don't even realize we're missing. And so that's why I say that we need to engage, and we need to live our life and be open to the world and our surroundings and humanity, so that we can exchange the best parts of humanity and the bind, the tie that's there between us and our fellow man or woman. Because we can be vulnerable. And there are people out there we can help. And so if you are anywhere along this line, if you are a bullying victim now, or if you have ever been a bullying victim, if you've ever been bullied and you found your way out of it, I'm very interested in knowing how you did that. I would like to, what would be really awesome is if all my gorilla family, any of you out there that have any experience with this, if you would be so kind as to email me and give me a brief explanation of how you dealt with it and how it turned out for you. And the reason that this would be great is, just think if we could create a compendium of experience, vast experiences. And as we were made into contact or came into contact with bullying victims today, people who are still suffering from these issues, or people who are afraid, and people who are timid, and people who feel that they're weak, and people who overly shy, or whatever the issue is. Wouldn't it be awesome if, because we have these escalating numbers, that we could collect a base, a wealth of experience and information to share with people going through these problems now? And what would be even better, if you do email me and share with me your experience and how you have dealt with it and how it's turned out for you. And is it still a struggle, or is it behind you to the largest degree? If you share that with me, if you would also be so kind as to let me know if it's okay if I share that with others. And even perhaps, if you don't mind, if I could contact you if the event arises that I find a person today who's going through what you have already been through and came out the other side of, if someone that contacts me is going through that now, can I forward their information to you? Would you mind helping this person? Just think about that for a minute. The number of people we have, all the gorillas we have in our family, how large our brood is becoming. And yeah, I know if you're a first timer here, you're thinking, okay, so the guy's got 14,000 subscribers or whatever. Yeah, but I clip all the busters. I don't care if they subscribe or not. If they're not who we want here, they're gone. We only have certain types of people here. That's who our subscribers are. So we have 14,000 good, solid people. Now, maybe there's still some there that need to go. But I am confident, because I'm positive, that the overwhelming majority of our family are all good, decent people, and they're exactly who we want. And we need more. And so if you're timid and you're shy and you're, if you're fat, if you're skinny, if you're, you have a handicap, or you don't look the same as most people, or anything like that. And in any way you feel today, or you felt at one point, that you didn't really fit in to the world around you as you would have wished maybe you had, or maybe you wished, like me when I was little, that you could be invisible and just go unnoticed. If the world ever made you feel that way, we want you. We want you. Because you know what? We're building our own little world here. And here you do fit. All right, so, and if you're being victimized today, or you're afraid, or whatever the case may be, feel free to email me as well. I'm not saying we have the answers to everything. We do not, but we're trying. At least we're trying, right? So let's keep on trying. And if you're being bullied now, or any other kind of problem that maybe we can help with, experience here in a lot of numbers, please feel free to email me and join us. Email me and let's see if we can work some things out. And there will be a lot more of this kind of content coming on this channel very soon. Hopefully, I'm going to begin to put some anti-bullying stuff up that is actually more one-on-one and kind of from a self-defense viewpoint. I'm not prescribing that as the smartest thing to do, but let's be realistic. You got to draw the line somewhere, and if it ever becomes physical, I certainly don't believe I can teach you how to fight, through videos on the internet. But I can show you a number of ways that are very easy to learn, if I can capture it correctly on this camera, so that you can get free and get the hell out of there, hopefully, right? Well, we'll do what we can do. It's all we can do. But we believe enough and we care enough that we want to do something. We want to try. All right, that's all for now. Thanks for watching this video. Have a great evening.